Oh, man. Good evening and welcome to the Alabama-Tennessee postgame show right here at Alabama with the Voice College Football, simulcast on the Voice College Football X account, where we make sure we can stay sane, or at least we try to. As I am yours truly, Jackson Johnson, and I got the contributor to Alabama with the Voice College Football, the host of Indiana at the Voice College Football, and the host of All He Taught Sports, Jeffrey, where he talks sports every day, or at least he tries to, and he's trying to stay sane, or at least he's trying to.
Absolutely, and as much as I try, I'm kind of failing right now when it comes to Alabama because, oh boy, the
Yeah.
fan base is going to start getting mad, Jackson. You know as well as I do that the Alabama Crimson Tide fan base does not like to see losses. Even in the Saban era, like you lose any game, it's like the sky is falling. It's just ridiculous at times. But this season, it's a legitimate argument to be frustrated, to be angry. And we got a lot to get into for sure, with this game and just the season as a whole and the trajectory that they're on. I'm concerned with Alabama. I will say, that after the Vanderbilt game and the Georgia second half, I was nervous and a little worried, but I was like, you know what? I think we'll get it together. But in the South Carolina game and now this game, I'm concerned.
For sure. But maybe we can have a little bright side. And that's especially when you come on in and become a YouTube member at Alabama with the Voice College Football. For $2.99 a month, you can become a Crimson Faithful member, where you can have a loyalty badge next to your name and a custom emoji to use in the comment section. And you get a shout out in the channel from us. And for $4.99 a month, you can become a Saban Disciple, where you get access to a monthly hangout from yours truly and a priority reply to comments. And for $9.99 a month, you can become a Bear Bryant legend, where you can connect on social media and give out content requests for Alabama with the Voice of College Football. And I can tell you right now, you can give out any kind of content requests. You can give out interview requests. You can give out video requests, anything really, man. And by golly, we're going to make sure we can get that filled. We will fill that request. Neither rain nor sleet nor snow nor not having any power will stop us. We're going to make sure we get it filled for you.
Or even an 0-12 Alabama season.
Yeah.
Still be doing your content requests, even though you probably wouldn't want to be talking about Alabama if that happened. But fire everybody. But yeah, definitely, like Jackson said, you definitely want to become a member at Alabama, the Voice of College Football. Have a lot of content.
Oh, face freeze.
So definitely a lot to look forward to. But we got a lot to talk about with this Tennessee game. Third Saturday in October, and the Volunteers are smoking cigars, not Alabama. Nope. After a game that, honestly, neither team impressed me. And neither team has impressed me the last, basically, month. Ever since Tennessee played Oklahoma and Alabama played Georgia, I've not been impressed with either team. Both teams they've looked awful. They've been playing terrible football for the most part. And the thing with Tennessee is that I feel like they have the ability to be a lot better. Alabama, I know, has the ability to be better than they are. The discipline's not there, and they're not playing with the same effort and energy they did with the Saban era. But I feel like Tennessee is the same boat, where they could be better than they are, but something's holding them back, whether it's the play calling or Nico not being fully, ready for, a complete offense yet or whatever. But neither team just looks all that good right now. But Tennessee came out on the right side of it.
Yeah, and neither team looked very disciplined either. Because, as a matter of fact, Alabama had 15 penalties and Tennessee had 11 penalties. And I know last Saturday in last week's postgame with Johnny Burtz and myself, Johnny was talking about how jittery Jalen Milroe looked.
Oh, and
yeah, he just looked like a disaster today.
Jalen Milroe, the thing is, he doesn't have any pressure for his job. basically. Like, you got Ty Simpson, but nobody's like, okay, we've seen Ty Simpson. Every time he's come in, he's not looked that good. Now, obviously, he could get better, but the only way he can get better is reps and actually being out there on the field, which he hasn't. So, to me, I really don't think Jalen Milroe is any pressure for his job. And even the fact that he's been playing poorly the last couple of weeks, his Heisman hopes are over. I mean,
Yeah.
Alabama would have to win out, and he'd have to play elite football from here on out to even have a shot to get back in the Heisman race. I mean, he has been playing terribly. And like you said, when I look at him, obviously, I've seen quarterbacks that have been cool, calm, and collected, like Jalen Hurts. He was like the epitome of cool, calm, and collected when he was at Alabama. He still threw interceptions. But Milroe looks shaky. He looks nervous. He looks like, the season and the environment and everything going on right now, it's getting to him. And you could see, like, Malachi Moore on the sideline on that last drive before they went out there. Like, he's trying to pump Jalen Milroe up, like, hey, you gotta, go out there and play like your old self, like you did last year after, the Texas game. You didn't play well, but then you got better from that. So I don't know. I just feel like, Milroe is definitely not showing, the same signs he showed last year of an improving quarterback. He's regressing. He is playing, a lot worse than he did before. And he definitely does not look composed. And I think LW's comment is definitely a great point here. The gaslighting by some fans and media has to stop. Coaching staff is hell-bent on making Milroe Penix. He's not. Bama threw the ball over 40 times. Well, I mean, the thing is that's a good point. Like, I believe Milroe's better in space, and he's throwing way too much out of the pocket. So, I mean, like, do you think, like, Milroe is a great pocket passer? I don't. I don't think that he is. I think that he is better when he's in space and he's able to run the ball.
They're not utilizing him very well, obviously. And I know that Andrew the GOAT I agree, the season's in trouble. And he says no playoffs for Alabama this year, sadly.
If Alabama wins out, they'd still make the playoffs.
Yeah,
so, yes, he said, can Alabama make it with 2 losses? Yes. If Alabama beat LSU, Oklahoma, and Auburn, they would get in at 10-2. But if they lose again, then they're done.
Well, I can go ahead and pull up the rest schedules. So we got Missouri.
It's not even a give me either.
Yeah. I mean, Missouri's been a sloppy team all season. And I'm really, at this point, I'm not liking our chances against LSU.
No, I'm not either. I mean, if I was picking that game right now, I would pick LSU. Like, if someone like Jeffrey, you have to pick that game right now. I'm picking LSU. Now, that could change based off LSU's performances the next couple weeks. And, and if they play better against Missouri, then maybe that will change. But as of now, I would pick LSU. Emrock says wrong. I don't know if he's saying about if Alabama getting in at 10-2. Alabama would get in at 10-2. Right now, they're ranked 7th. They just lost a close game to a team that's going to be ranked in the top 10 tomorrow. Alabama probably falls to 12-13. You're telling me you beat Mizzou, you beat LSU, you beat Oklahoma, you beat Auburn, that you don't get back in the top 10? Yeah, you're getting back in the top 10. Alabama would make the playoffs with 2 losses. The problem is they're probably going to lose again. Maybe more than once, the way they're playing right now. I mean, Oklahoma's bad, but Bama's not very good either right now, so they could lose. But LSU absolutely could be a loss. And even Missouri's not a give me, even though Missouri's not, that good either. I mean, really, a lot of the teams in the SEC are just underwhelmed.
Oklahoma's much worse. I mean, they got shellacked today by South Carolina.
But see, that makes Tennessee look worse, because Tennessee, when they beat Oklahoma on the road, it was such a great win. But now that you think about it, it's like, well, Oklahoma is pretty awful, and Tennessee barely beat them. So, and South Carolina should have beat Alabama. So Alabama just survived on that one. I mean, they better be glad they didn't have the loss to South Carolina, because they did, they would be done with the playoffs.
Auburn's not exactly a gimme either, even though Auburn's freaking pitiful at 2-5.
Auburn usually sucks when they play at Bryant Denny though, or now Saban Field. You know, like they're not as good. Oh, overlook Auburn. No. I would not overlook Auburn at all whatsoever. But Auburn usually plays worse when it's at Alabama. But you never know. It's still a rivalry game. You can't take it for granted. But if it was at Jordan Hare, I'd be really nervous. LW says Milroe is zero pocket presence, doesn't settle in the pocket, 1-2-3 release, doesn't exist. Watch the tape for each game, at least plays all over the field. Well, the thing is, so does Nico. And Nico's younger than Milroe, so a little bit of an excuse. But did you see that play, Jackson, where 2 Tennessee receivers were open downfield? And Nico threw it over one of their heads, and it was actually the guy that had a tougher chance to catch it on the sideline. There was a guy wide open in the middle of the field. Yeah, he just completely missed him. It would have been a touchdown for Tennessee. Now, they ended up scoring a touchdown that drive, but Nico missed one too. But did you see the one where Milroe overthrew Ron Williams?
Yeah.
Dude, how do you miss that? I probably could make that throw. Now, could I make it in that environment? Probably not, but that was an easy throw.
It's pitiful. It was pitiful. Pitiful.
He overthrew Ron Williams by like 10 yards. I mean, that was like an Anthony Richardson throw.
Oh God! It's like now
See,
I'm
that's
really
the thing. I think that Milroe, like the commenter said earlier, they're kind of having Milroe be like Penix. He's not Penix. Penix is a gunslinger. He can do it 60 yards down the field, pinpoint a pass. Milroe can throw a deep ball, and he has been accurate on deep balls before, but he's not as accurate over the middle. No. I thought he was getting better with that, but something's going on. He's getting rattled because he's not as accurate at all. And did you see also on the last drive that they had, it was on 1st and 10, he just threw the ball away and there was an open guy on the flat. Again, that should have been an easy 5-6 yard completion and he overthrew him. I don't understand it.
He's jittery. He's too jittery. He's scared, and you can't be making plays like that when you're scared. You gotta be calm, cool, collected. You got to make sound decisions. And obviously, he's not making good, concise, sound decisions. He's just not.
Yeah, and they're not disciplined either. Like you said, 15 penalties. That's insane. I mean, the last couple years of Saban, they were having more penalties, which is why everybody was going off at Saban. But at the same time, it's like, okay, championship teams do not commit stupid penalties. They do not commit them on a regular basis at all. And Alabama's doing that. And they got an unconfident quarterback. And like LW said, year 4, he's not getting better. He was better last year. Mm-hmm. And first half against Georgia. Something changed. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's not the same guy right now. I mean, he doesn't look confident at all. And I'm sure he's going to start tanking on draft boards. Because you got to play well consistently for you to get drafted high. Like, you can't be playing this inconsistent. Anthony Richardson was like the only quarterback that ever got drafted as high as he did, being that inconsistent. And I still don't know how he got drafted 4th overall or whatever, or 3rd or whatever he was. That
simple. The overhypement from Mel Kiper and Todd McShay. Yeah. It's like, oh my God, Mel Kiper said, oh my God, Mel Kiper. It's like, Mel Kiper only watched one freaking game.
He watched the one run against Utah. He watched the one run against Utah that everybody's like, oh, Anthony Richardson for Heisman. It was one run, dude. He could not throw the ball 5 yards down the field accurately. Yeah, he has an arm, but he's inconsistent. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Richardson. I said that Anthony Richardson should have been drafted in like the 3rd round. I mean, realistically, he like, the talent's there and all that, but the fact that he was drafted top 5, I mean, that you're making the NFL draft just as broken as college basketball, where you take a guy like Bronny in the draft that averaged 4 points a game because of his dad, but then a guy that averaged like 20 points per game is not getting drafted. There was like 5 guys that were like All-Americans that didn't even get drafted last year, but Bronny did. Okay. But you're going to take Anthony Richardson in the NFL draft 4th, and then he wasn't even good. So I don't get it. I mean, Milroe should not get drafted high. He shouldn't, the way he's playing right now. Now, he could still redeem himself, but all indications are that he isn't.
Yeah.
What did you think about like Alabama's defense? I mean, were you impressed with the defense, or do you think it was more so Tennessee's offense struggling? That's my opinion. I think it was more Tennessee's offense. But what do you think about the defense?
It was probably a little bit of Tennessee's offense struggling, and Tennessee, they're probably going to look better than they should against, like, say, a Kentucky. But when they go up against Georgia, I don't think it's going to go so well for them. But it's a lucky thing that both Alabama and Tennessee don't have Texas this season, because if either one of those teams had Texas on their schedule, we would be in trouble. We saw what Twin Ewers can do in Tuscaloosa. I do not want to deal with that again.
I got another interesting question for you, Jackson. Do you think that Georgia losing or winning, like the result of the Georgia-Texas game, whether Georgia wins or Texas wins, which one do you think benefits Alabama more? I know Alabama's kind of out of the race right now with 2 losses, but the way I'm looking at it, I feel like if Georgia beats Texas, it helps Bama. Because then all the teams at the top would have 1 loss, and all Alabama would need is 1 more loss for those teams to get back in the conversation. Whereas if Texas wins, they're already going to be there. And then now you're playing with all these other teams. I feel like it'd be better if Georgia beat them. But
that's true, because like if Texas beats Georgia tonight, and let's go ahead and look at the score update right quick. Let me see. Okay, Georgia's winning 7-0. Okay, keep winning, Georgia. Keep winning, Georgia. You gotta make us look good.
But, it definitely would help. I mean, hey, even though Alabama lost, at least they're not Florida State or USC right now. Can you believe USC lost to Maryland?
Oh my God!
Indiana beat Maryland. They're no good because Maryland's trash. USC lost to Maryland.
Oh yeah, and it's the way they lost to Maryland. Oh my God, that's bad. And I mean, like every game USC's lost has been a close loss. That's bad. Well, we're the best 3 and 14 in the nation. It's like,
you're pulling the Nebraska thing, right? Like that's what USC fans are doing. If you start saying we're the best 3 and 4 team, you're just Nebraska, 3 and 9 all over again. And then the other embarrassment was Michigan. Michigan, Jack Tuttle, the former Indiana quarterback. That's a cluster, man. Michigan's bad. Like they're really bad, man. 4 and 3. I mean, if they didn't have that win over USC, but I don't even look good anymore.
No, it was terrible. It's not even like
it don't even look good anymore, man. I mean, not good.
No,
I mean the USC win doesn't even look good anymore, so they're not a good team, man.
No, it's like I wonder how that makes LSU look, because it's you lost to
LSU's gotten better since then, though, right?
Yeah, but oh man, it's like
to me, week 1 results aren't indicative of anything. That's why I don't think you should play week 1 games against high caliber opponents. I think you should have warm up games, because I mean LSU clearly would beat USC right now.
Oh, yeah.
They clearly would. It's just USC got the better of them in that game, but then after that, they've been playing like garbage. But yeah, I mean, Michigan, though, man. I mean, Illinois is not a bad team, but remember, Illinois barely beat Purdue because they switched quarterbacks.
49.
And then Oregon destroys Purdue, and then Illinois beats Michigan. I mean, Michigan might be like the 10th best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. They might be the 10th best team. Because, I mean, how many teams are ahead of them right now? Obviously, I mean, you got Ohio State and Oregon and Penn State and
Michigan's gone from the top 25 tomorrow.
Indiana's ahead of them. So you got, like I said, you got Oregon and Ohio State.
Penn
State, Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question Indiana's beat Michigan. The only question left is, can Indiana beat Ohio State? And that's pretty much it. Because I mean, I feel like it's getting to a point where it's like a foregone conclusion where we see Indiana in the playoffs. Like, I mean, although Tom Fornelli at Cover 3 might not agree with that. I mean, he might think,
of course not. Just let them think they won't, right? Underdog story. You know, you don't want them believing, because once they believe, then Indiana will lose. It's like, oh, this is why we shouldn't have believed in them. I knew it. So just
Simple.
Indiana's an underdog. They're an underdog. You know,
I
they're
love
not
that
going to get
press
anywhere.
conference where he was like, simple. I win. Google me.
I win, Google me, and Purdue sucks, and so does Michigan and Ohio State. And it's like Purdue really does suck, and Michigan's not much better.
I mean, it was like I said
Ohio
on
State's still good, but
like I said on Ed's last night, Ryan Walters is Daryl Hazel 2.0.
yeah, that's why I liked your tweet and retweeted it. It was like, hey, Indiana fans love to see this. Like it's great. It's great to see the return of Hazel, man, 2.0. They were terrible, like just absolutely terrible. But
although the price you have to pay is you may have to see Indiana Purdue on Nickelodeon after the latest SpongeBob rerun or the Patrick Star show. But,
it's all right with me. That's fine. no one wants to see a bloodbath. No one wants to see it.
That might get too violent for the kids, though. It's like, mommy, what am I watching? Something R-rated. Let me change to something nice. Nobody wants to see Indiana smacking Purdue. That's
except Indiana fans. I mean, it's been a long time coming. It's been years,
and
man.
Tom Fornelli. It's like, oh no, 11-1 Indiana's in the playoffs over 93 Ole Miss.
Oh, they would complain about that. They'd be upset. It's like, come on, man. Give Indiana the just this once. This is one thing, right? And everybody's like, oh, Cignetti's leaving. He's going to Florida. And I'm just like, no. You cannot have him. Just because your program is incompetent and can't hire a good coach does not mean you can steal ours. Come on.
He's 63 years old.
He needs to stay at the team that gave him his break. Florida didn't think nothing of him until he's at IU now. I mean, all these Florida fans. I mean, I got nothing against Florida fans. They're like, oh, he's our coach now. He's going to be. It's like, you should have hired him before Indiana did. You could have done it. Nothing was stopping you. Nothing was stopping you. Oh. He was at James Madison. You could have hired him instead of Billy Napier. But you know what you did? You're like, Cignetti. We don't know Cignetti. We're going Billy Napier. He's a proven product. And it's like now the Cignetti's at Indiana, and it's like, oh, we want him that. No, you can't have him. You can't have him. You don't deserve him. That's all. You don't deserve him. That's all I can say. I mean, I don't normally say things like this, but really, Florida does not deserve Curt Cignetti.
No, because they'll be like, oh, we love him, squee, and then it's we want him fired. We want him fired.
Yeah, he goes like 8-4, and they want him fired. I mean, come on, man. I mean, like Cignetti, if he stays in Indiana and wins some bowl games and has some success, they'll build a statue of him outside the building. Florida will just, put his name in the garbage can. I mean, unfortunately, they'll just toss up, I win, Google me, all that stuff, and just put in the garbage can. Cignetti, I hope he stays in Indiana. I mean, if he does leave, I mean, I won't, I'll be happy that, he's getting a bigger opportunity or whatever, and for what he did at IU while he was here, but I hope he stays, though. The fact that Indiana's 7-0 in his first season, and the fact people are already like, oh, we're going to take him away and steal him away, it's kind of sad. It really is. I hope he doesn't do it, and I hope he stays at IU, and I hope they give him a contract extension and he retires at IU.
He's kind of like Matt Campbell and Lance Leipold. I know it's not too trendy to compare him to Lance Leipold, but still, though.
Yeah, before this season, absolutely.
True. And Rough Rider's got a wish to make.
This is what I'm saying. Rough Rider. I understand. But is that fair? No. Like, you hire Brent Venables. No offense, but you hire Brent Venables. I can't help that. Florida keeps hiring people that can't win. So Indiana, they've been bad for 140 years. They haven't won a Big Ten title since 1967. They haven't won a bowl game since 1991. And the one time they finally get the hire right, you want to take them away. It's not fair. That is not fair. No. Oklahoma, Florida, Florida State. No. None of you. USC, because I'm already seeing that. USC. No. Cignetti, do not fall for the LA lights. All right? The humbleness of Bloomington. I appreciate you being a rough
I tell you
rider.
what, Zay, I could do it all night with them getting going. Just be like, I should have got popcorn, but it's like I knew I shouldn't have drank the coffee. Just be like, oh, just get some Coca-Cola, popcorn. There you go. But
Yeah,
laughing
I
like
appreciate
JP
you being
Cubish.
here, Tim. He says, give Tennessee some credit. Great defense. I mean, honestly, I want to give Bama's defense credit and Tennessee's defense credit, but I really think it was just incompetency on both offenses, to be honest. I mean, Bill Rose out there missing Ron Williams. I mean, think about it. That play where he missed Ron Williams, if he passes it to Ron Williams where he can catch it, all Ron Williams has to do is shake that safety, he's gone. I mean, you've got the most, like Jeremiah Smith. Jeremiah Smith has the best body for a wide receiver as a freshman probably ever, or at least this year. But when you're talking about explosive plays and the ability to create space and separation, Ryan Williams is the best receiver in college football, especially as a freshman, to be able to do that. And you're telling me all Milroe has to do, he's got no one on him for like 15 yards. You hit Ryan Williams, he's either going for a touchdown or he's going at least to midfield. And he misses him by I mean, unfortunately, Ron Williams is no Heisman hope. None.
No.
Because Milroe is not getting it to him.
Year.
He has no Heisman hope. You have to be able to get the ball to be able to have a chance. I mean, like that'd be like Boise State having Ashton Genty and they don't run the ball. Okay, how can Genty do anything if you don't hand the ball off to him? So Ron Williams, he's at the fate of Milroe. He's at the fate of the passing offense. He needs the ball to be passed to him for him to do anything, or otherwise he's just dancing around out there doing nothing. I mean, it doesn't help having Jalen Milroe shaky back there, missing easy passes. Like I said, it's really bizarre how poorly Jalen Milroe has played these past few games, especially when we saw him play well for like 10 to 12 straight games. It's not like it was a fluke. I don't think Milroe is a fluke. But I think it's the different offense, though. I think they're running a poor offense for him.
Yeah. And like you said, and like LW said, they're trying to run him like he's Michael Penix, and he's not. He's just not. He is nowhere near Michael Penix. You cannot be making somebody that they're not. He's no pocket passer.
Yeah, and it would kill me because I'd see a bunch of people. Oh, and I don't diss media people, and I don't ever call out media people by name normally. I just don't really like to do that. It depends on who it is. But I've seen so many media people say Jalen Milroe is a great pocket passer. And I'm like, what are you talking about? No, he's not. Like, really, the only time he's a good pocket passer is when he throws it like 80 yards down the field, and it's like the deepest bomb throw ever when he's all right. But to be a good pocket passer, you got to be like Curtis Rourke at IU, where you're in the pocket, you don't move, and you just throw. Drop in dimes, down the field, over the middle, to the sides, downfield. Milroe is not that. Milroe is not capable of being able to stand in the pocket and drop dimes all over the field. Maybe an 80-yard pass downfield. I'm being a little exaggerated, but you know what I mean. 40-yard, 50-yard pass. But then a 10 to 15-yard pass over the middle? No. Especially in tight coverage. Because that last pass that was picked off was behind the receiver. So, gave the receiver no chance.
No. I mean, because like we did not have a good day today. It's like, unfortunately, we deserve to lose. And I think, honestly, I'm hoping that this game will be a reality check for this team that, hey, we can get knocked out of the playoff race at any moment. We can get knocked out at any moment.
Well, the thing that's so frustrating, Jackson, is because you're absolutely right. I mean, this should be a reality check, but that's what the Vanderbilt game should have been.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they've had 3 games now where it's like, okay, you were blowing out Georgia. You look like the best team in the country. Then the second half, you played like garbage, and then Ryan Williams saves the day, and then you squeak out a win. You get the big win or whatever, and then it's like, well, you turn back around, you play like garbage against Vanderbilt, and it's like, that's your reality check. That's your reality check. It's like, okay, because I mean, you remember everybody. Thank you so much for that comment. Losers, yeah, Alabama right now are losers. That is rare in the last 20 years, but thank you for stopping by, and you're absolutely correct. But what did you and Johnny and most like we're and even I picked like a 21, 24 point win. We were predicting like Bama's gonna come back out against South Carolina and they're gonna blow them out because they're gonna be angry off that loss. They're gonna be like, you know what, Malachi Moore going crazy, all that kind of stuff. They're not gonna let this happen again. They barely beat them. Should have lost.
Yeah.
And then this game. So if this isn't a reality check, nothing will be a reality check. Maybe they just aren't good. The problem is I don't believe that. I don't believe this team's not good. There's too much talent. The problem is they're not disciplined and they're not showing enough effort, man. There's not enough effort. And the Nick Saban era, the amount of effort that we saw from some of these players to help them win games was unreal. I just don't see the effort.
There's not a whole lot of it. It's not good. Well, as of right now, score update. Georgia's 10-0 against Texas. That's making us look good in a way. But lesson of the night, don't ever put yourself in a position where you need someone to win or lose for you. Don't ever do that. In case John won,
there we go. Our
member of Alabama with the Voice of College Football says, our defense, their feet looked heavy. They look slow. They're not keeping them off Jaden Williams. Like man,
yeah,
it's not good.
I mean, I agree, and definitely appreciate for being a member of the channel. But I mean, I agree. I mean, I don't know. The thing is the defense played good enough. It wasn't great. There were, like I said, that throw Nico had where he had two guys wide open, and there was still a holding call. I'm like, okay, that's just bad. But overall, they were fine. I mean, the one thing that bothers me with Bama's defense, and this is even cropping up the last couple of years during Saban, but Alabama earlier on with Nick Saban, like when I was a younger kid, you know, you were younger, like back in like the early 2010s, mid 2010s, Alabama never gave up a lot of rushing yards. Do you remember Leonard Fournette, that one game with LSU where like Alabama held him to like 12 rushing yards? And Leonard Fournette was like the top back in the country that year.
Yeah, today we gave up 214 rushing yards.
You see what I'm saying, man? I mean,
yeah.
Tennessee's running back Sampson, right? And his last name's Sampson. Or Simpson.
194 passing yards, and which equals 408 total yards. We gave up that much.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's running back is not great. I mean, he's a good back. Don't get me wrong. He is a good back. Dylan Sampson. He's a good back. But he's not on anybody's like top 3 to 4 list of best backs in the country. And Alabama, just a few short years ago, against the best backs in the country, would only give up 15 yards, 20 yards. Yeah. You couldn't run on them. And now you're letting guys that are good, but not great or elite, run all over you.
They're certainly not on the Doak Walker award list.
Absolutely. That's the problem for Alabama. Their defense is nowhere near as good as it used to be, and especially on run defense, because if you can shut down a team's run defense or rushing attack because your run defense is so good, you can shut down a team's rushing attack, then you're forcing them to pass the ball every play. You're giving Tennessee options, because if Nico had to pass the ball every single play, then it probably would have been a loss for Tennessee because he would have turned it over. But Tennessee was allowed to run the ball, and that's on Bama for not stopping the run. And I agree with this comment as well.
Yeah, I mean, we let the Georgia game just go to our heads. Yeah. That's what happened.
I mean, they don't look fired up at all. I mean, compared to Saban, I mean, I've actually gone back and watched some of the classic games, the big games with Saban. And the players, man, the players were cool, calm, collected. They were fierce. They were tough competitors, didn't let the moment get to them, and these guys just don't have it, man. I mean, Kendrick Law, I understand why he retaliated, but it's like that. You can't have that. I mean, think about it. That would have helped that Bama have a shorter fourth down. Instead, it was 4th and forever because they had an unsportsmanlike. I will say the Tennessee guy was taunting him to death. Probably should have been an offsetting penalty, but it doesn't matter. Kendrick Law shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have retaliated because, of course, you're going to get in trouble. It's not going to be the guy taunting you. It's going to be your push.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I mean, that was bad as well.
You cannot be pushing people. Like, if somebody's taunting you, here's what you do. What you do is if you want to get back at them, you play better against them. You get that last
that's what you do. I mean, you let your play dictate. You let your play dictate everything. So the other team's talking smack, beat them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Indiana, Nebraska. Nebraska couldn't do anything. They couldn't say anything. Indiana just won. I mean, they just destroyed them. So it's like there's no talking smack. There's no getting in your face. There's no pushing and shoving. It's just we beat you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you got to do. Like you said, I mean, instead of Alabama getting into it with people, just beat them. Beat Tennessee. Win. You win, they have nothing to say.
Exactly.
Both QBs made bad decisions. I mean, Nico could end up becoming a really good quarterback in the future, but he's not that good right now. He is not all that good right now. All the hype that he had coming into the season, he's definitely underwhelmed. I mean, I'm not going to put it all on him. He's a young guy. He's going to get better with time, I'm sure. I mean, even Kay Klubnik, he's finally playing a lot better for Clemson than what he was. But, I mean, Nico is definitely not great right now. Could get better. The problem with Milroe is that he was better last year, and he's an older guy, and he was thought to be a Heisman favorite. But the thing is, for a brief, he was after that Georgia game, he was a Heisman favorite, Heisman candidate, and he's regressing. I still think a lot of it's on the play calling and the coordinators than Milroe, but still Milroe can't be looking nervous out there and look like he's about to throw up when you're a senior, man. I mean, you can't do that.
No, cannot. You
Good point as well. You have to push the guys back. Like Tennessee's just pushing guys forward, and like Alabama's almost carrying them with them. I agree with that. You got to push them back. That's an effort thing. Tennessee just a little more effort.
Yeah.
Tennessee didn't play good either.
No,
they really didn't. I mean, I mean, I'm not. I mean, if there's any Tennessee fans in chat, definitely appreciate you guys for being here. But nothing against your team's performance. But Tennessee, honestly, if I was a Tennessee fan over an Alabama fan, I'll be saying the same thing. Yeah, we won, but we didn't play good. We did not. But I'm just saying, as a Bama fan for Tennessee, Tennessee did not play well. At the end of the day, they won. But it's not saying much, though. Like, honestly, when Tennessee beat Alabama back in 2022 and they broke off the
15-game losing streak.
Yeah, they broke the losing streak, and they broke the field goal, whatever it's called. It's not the post. They broke the post through to the river. But, literally, that was an impressive win for Tennessee. Because that was Bama still Bama. Like, Bama's defense was regressing, but, like, their offense was still really good. Still had Saban. That was a classic game. This game, honestly, I mean, this was not a very interesting game. I mean, yeah, it's two great programs and the SEC and all that, but, like, the Alabama-Tennessee game in 2022 was a classic.
Yeah.
Even though Bama lost, this game was not a classic.
No, it's nowhere near
not an interesting game at all.
It's nowhere near the 2022 game or 1966 or 1990 where
even
we had
09.
No.
I mean,
like Mount,
09
Mount
was a low-scoring game.
Mount Cody bought the field goal with his armpit.
Yeah, I mean, like, it was a low-scoring game, but it was still a classic. This game was not a classic. Even if Bama won, like, because I know, like, some people in chat probably be like, oh, well, you're only saying that because Bama lost. It has nothing to do with that. Like, when Bama lost in 2022, I was like, what a game. What a game. And it's nothing to do with the points. It's just the way the game transpired. I just, watching both these teams, I did not see great defense. I didn't see, the defenses are so good that neither team could score. No, it was just poor offense, poor play calling, just poor everything. And Bama had just a little bit more of it.
Uh-oh, face freeze again.
maybe Missouri. If they do that against LSU or Missouri, Bama's not winning. They're not. Alabama's going to have to get better, but I'm not confident they will. I mean, Kalen DeBoer knows he's at Bama now. This is not Washington. You got to do well at Alabama or you will get fired.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, because like it's not us that are going to do that, of course.
No, I'm not going to fire DeBoer at all or say he should be on the hot seat, but you know how people are.
Yeah, I mean, everybody tends to throw the baby out with the bathwater. And like you said the other day, Jeffrey, perception changes. I think you said that on Thursday night on the second edition of the call-in show. And we've had numerous conversations about it on and off air. You know, perception tends to change whether we like it or not. You know, Mike Norvell, greatest thing in the world. Oh my God, Alabama should hire him to replace Nick Saban. Thank goodness we didn't. I can tell you right now. And Florida State's not too happy with him at the moment. I mean, everybody's like yelling for him. There's some people yelling for him to get fired. They're like, whoa, what's his buyout number? What's his buyout number? $64 million for the record, which I believe he's a little bit above Cale DeBoer, but behind Kirby Smart. I bet you Florida State's wishing they didn't have that little contract extension set up.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. And Mike Loxley was a candidate for the Alabama job as well. I mean, what a train.
Yeah, like that's the thing about like Mike Loxley. The only reason why he even got considered for any coaching candidacy for as a head coach is because he worked for Saban.
Absolutely.
If he didn't work for Nick Saban, nobody would hire him. I mean, seriously, who's going to hire a guy who is 3-22 at New Mexico?
Well, that's why Cignetti got hired as a head coach, because he was a Saban assistant. Mm-hmm. But Cignetti wins. Loxley doesn't, even though he won today. Good job, Loxley. But you don't win very often. But still, I mean, yeah. Kalen DeBoer, no hot seat, none of that stuff. But
Neil Brown, I mean,
the
that's
perception,
another one.
though, absolutely changes. I mean, look at Indiana. A couple weeks ago, Indiana, you know, it's a fluke. You know, they haven't played anybody. It's going to change, all that kind of stuff. Now people are saying, oh, they're going to make the playoff, and I believed in them all along. Same people that had them going 3-9. I give you a pass, Jackson. You're good. I don't blame you for picking them not to make a bowl game. I said 7-5. Like I said, it's not like I was thinking all this either. Yeah. I didn't think they're going to be top 10 and beat Nebraska and all that kind of stuff. I picked them to lose to Nebraska. I actually picked Indiana to win now, but at the beginning of the season, I had them losing to Nebraska. But these people in the media that are major analysts, right? Oh, Indiana's going to go 3-9. They suck. You know, Cignetti might win and all that, but this is Indiana. They're not going to win anything. Now these same people are like, oh, they're going to make the playoffs, and they're going to go 11-1. They might even beat Ohio State. I'm like, okay, come on.
9-3, Ole Miss should get in over 11-1 Indiana. Like, oh my God!
These people just flip on a dime. I understand why you do. It's the media. You flip on a dime because it's like it's the current thing. You support the current thing. I get it. Indiana's the current thing. But I was here first. I was talking about IU when they sucked. So I think it's a little bit unfair for people just to.
We got video proof.
I mean, I was here first.
Yep.
But I mean, that's all I'm saying.
He's been there. He's been there when it sucked. Like, especially on numerous call-in shows at the Voice of College Football and on numerous live streams, videos of his channel, Only Talk Sports. I can tell you right now, you're going to want to listen to this guy. You know, he's a go-to right there. I mean, he's been talking about Indiana when it wasn't popular. Like, I'm telling you, it's like, and like some of those media people, like at least own the fact that, hey, I made a bad prediction on Indiana. I was dead wrong. It doesn't need to be like a 40-paragraph statement.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
It doesn't need to be a 40 or like a 5-minute video. It's just like, oh, hey, I was wrong. Move on.
I appreciate it, man. I mean, absolutely. I mean, that's why, like, I'm so happy Indiana's doing great. But it's just seeing these people just flip like this is kind of frustrating because, like, you didn't believe. Yeah. You were not a believer. You're a believer now, but you weren't a believer before. I believed. I was like, Cignetti's going to do good here. And that's why I said 7-5. I'm like, he's going to do good. But now all these other
Yeah.
people are like, oh, he's great, and we want him at Florida and Oklahoma. I'm like, no, like you didn't believe this 2 weeks ago.
No.
You weren't saying anything 2 weeks ago. It's just frustrating. I mean, I get it. But like you said, all they have to do is just be like, all right, I didn't believe, but I do now. You know, I do the same thing. I've made awful predictions, like with Colorado. I think I had them going like 4-8, 5-7. They're probably going to be better than that. We'll see. But they're probably, I mean, they're 5-2 right now. I mean, they're going to be better than what I said. So, kudos, Deion Sanders. You're doing better than I thought. I thought it was going to be another garbage year for them. They're not great, and their O-line still sucks. But Shadur's great, and they got a good enough team.
Yeah.
A little bit on Colorado. Not awfully wrong. Not like Colorado's top 10 team or anything, but I was wrong. And on Florida State, we were all wrong. Wrong on Florida State. I mean,
well, we know one show. We know one show that's really loving the fact that Coach Prime is doing very well this year. 60 Minutes, they're going to be like, oh my God, Colorado the best team in all college football.
It's like the only coach they care about, man. I mean, they don't like it doesn't matter what anybody does. Cincinnati or Dan Lanning, Sark, it don't matter. It's just Deion, man. Like Deion's the only football coach that matters. The 60 Minutes. Oh man,
yeah. I mean,
the little ticking clock. Yeah, that's when I know to switch it over to Sunday Night Football.
Yep, there you go. Oh man, we're laughing our butts off like JP Cubish, despite the fact that things have not gone well today.
Yeah, well, it's going well for Georgia. I picked Texas, man. I swear to you, I thought about picking Georgia. I thought about it, but I was like, nah, it looked like crap. I'm gonna go with Texas. Georgia. And look at this. Look at this. Come on, man. And we got Dave Portnoy, and probably not the Dave Portnoy, but appreciate you for stopping by. Oregon's way overrated. Yeah, I don't know.
We could use some of that NIL money. We could use some of the NIL money, throw it over to Bama. Just be like, just give us a little bit. We'll throw it over to Alabama.
Yeah. I mean, Alabama's
We're not going to use that.
They need a little more.
Yeah, no worries.
You think Oregon's way overrated? I don't think they're way overrated. I mean, slightly overrated. Maybe, but not way. I mean, beat Ohio State, just leveled Purdue, no letdown. I mean, I don't think they're great. Like we're talking about like the best Bama teams of all time or Georgia's, best teams. Like they're not on that level, but for Oregon, they're great. And for the Big Ten, they might be the best team in the league. So they're good. They're really good.
Oh yeah. Because I remember and you said you talked about perception changing yet again. Weeks ago, Oregon beats Boise State. Oh, that was a sloppy win. I mean, on an app that no one's watching. Yeah, well, Boise State seems to be doing very well ever since. They hadn't lost a game since. And yeah, Oregon's looked sloppy here and there before Ohio State, but that's because they were saving their best stuff for the Ohio State Buckeyes. What do? They save their best stuff for the Ohio State Buckeyes, win 32-31. And, of course, you and I were witness to a tenacious debate on last week's edition of After Dark.
Oh, yeah, it never ended, man. I mean, I like the replay of the push-off. Like, we were looking at it for, like, 20 minutes. It's like it's a play, okay? Like, it's one play. There was a lot of other plays that could have influenced the game. Ohio State did not win. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. But, yeah, it was so funny. I mean, the thing is with Oregon, like, beating Boise State what they did in week 2, honestly, if they replay Boise State now, I think they'd win by more. I do. I think I know Genty. He's insanely good. And again, I'm not saying I was the only one, but I've been talking about Genty for 3 years, how great he is. And no one was on the train. I mean, I was on like Voice College football, like Ashton Genty. Keep your eyes out on Genty. He's an elite player. People are like, who's that? Boise, they suck. I'm like, you're not watching them. Now people are. Again, I was one of the first. I wasn't the first, I'm sure, but I was one of the first. Who was like, hey, this guy is unreal. But Genty's great, but they're not an elite team. Boise's got a good enough team, but Genty's the guy. But I do feel like Oregon played him now. He probably win by 17 or 21. Probably. I mean, other thing is Boise, but I mean, it's week 2. That's why I don't like these early big tests. Like, look at Indiana. Indiana, easy schedule at first, but they were able to build up. Now this team's in full gear. Imagine if they played Nebraska week 1, week 2.
Lost.
They ain't win 56-7. So, and they probably wouldn't win 56-7 realistically, 9 out of 10 games. I mean, it'd probably be a lot of different results, but just saying, like, early on in the season, you're not at your best. You get better as time goes along. And appreciate, again, putting the link in there, Jackson. Indiana at the voice of college football. Me and Justin earlier today did a post-game live for the Indiana-Nebraska game. Definitely appreciate if you guys go check out Indiana at the voice of college football. We're trying to build up the channel. Indiana football is doing great. They got their coach. Hope he stays at IU. And you want to check out more Indiana content at the Indiana the voice of college football. You're not going to want to miss anything. A lot of stuff coming down the pike. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. But that's for sure. You're not going to want to miss it. And of course, tomorrow night will be another fun-filled edition of CFB After Dark, where, yet again, we will be making sure we stay as sane as possible, or at least we'll try to. We'll try to.
Yeah, I try to, man. I mean, I really do try to talk sports every single day, or at least I try to. I try really hard. But when it comes to sanity, After Dark, you can't promise anything. No. You can't promise anything. That's going to be crazy.
Oh,
it's always fun.
Like this, like for those that are just tuning in, don't know what After Dark is, this is how we end the show. We always go, Pop-Tart, play us out.
Yep.
Oh.
That's the Pop-Tart.
Yeah, he's acting bad.
I mean, it's definitely one of those kind of shows, okay?
Yeah.
You got to toe the line, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it's one of those type shows. It's fun. I mean, it's just a free-for-all. Everybody's just having fun, basically talking crap about everybody's team. And we talk about Mary Mac and everything. Mary Mac, how great of a team they are at a university and all sorts of things. So there's Sean Garner. Appreciate Sean Garner for stopping by. Yeah, Pop-Tart being bad. He's being bad. But also appreciate the shout-out as well. Jackson with my links as well. Only Talk Sports, where you can find me as well. I really appreciate that. Definitely go sub to Only Talk Sports, my YouTube channel. Talk sports every single day, or at least I try to. As well, like I said, the Indiana channel. And I'm sure, Jackson's going to talk about his channel as well, the Jacksonian. You definitely want to check out his channel. He's doing a lot of great interviews, lots of great stuff coming down the pike, I'm sure. And also sub here, for both of us, the Alabama channel. We're both here talking on the Alabama, the Voice College Football channel. You want to check out that as well. You're already here. If you're liking the show, hit that subscribe button. You definitely don't want to miss any future shows.
There we go. We're 65 subs away from that magic number 2,500, and, a lot of you, you're wanting a break from politics. You're wanting a break from debates about the Great Pumpkin. So what do? You come on here to Alabama with the Voice of College Football. You come on to Indiana with the Voice of College Football. As a matter of fact, you want to come on here and check out the Voice of College Football, where you can get all college football content. And it's something to tell your friends, your family, and the cashiers at Publix about. And let me tell you, you won't regret it. And speaking of all college football, it's somewhere. We got it somewhere. We got the book, Mark Rogers, as he has written, The Disputed National Champions, College Football's Historical 1990s Reset, as you will learn a lot about what happened in the 90s, how the decade changed sport, why the championship results should be questioned, how to critically think through the scenarios, to appreciate the accomplishments of teams that were not recognized as champions. This book provides an in-depth analysis of the changes, controversies, and outcomes that defined the decade of college football. It challenges readers to explore and critically evaluate the decisions that shaped the national championship landscape, unlock the mysteries of college football's most debated decade. Grab your copy now, as I know I have. And IT guy, appreciate very much.
Definitely
Yep, it's
appreciate it.
oh, but you should hear the conversation we've had off air. It's you never know with us. I can tell you, it's like you never know. It's always a wild ride. But we would also like to dedicate the show to our dear friend Joey Foster and his family. There's a message from West Virginia at the Voice of College Football where he goes into it. But I know I've donated some money to his GoFundMe. I mean, like Joey has done so much for a lot of us right here at the Voice of College Football. He's done so much for Gold Blue Dude and Traveling Fools. And I know that, had it not been for Joey, I don't think you and I would even know each other. As a matter of fact, I mean, he introduced me to Will, our buddy Will and D, who introduced me to my good buddy Jeffrey, and introduced Jeffrey to me. And I can tell you right now, we can go over so many backstories about. It's like, oh man,
Yeah, there's a lot of backstories with all that's going on back before we met and when we met, and like you said, Joey had a big part in that. And I mean, Joey Foster is he's been a major part of a lot of YouTube channels, especially the Voice of College Football. Been on the West Virginia channel, doing a lot of awesome stuff. Great guy. I love talking to Joey Foster. It's definitely the GoFundMe link that Jackson has right there. Do you definitely, if you're able to, that would be really cool to help out. It's tough. It's really tough. I hate it when I heard the news, man. I didn't see it earlier, and I'm definitely praying really hard.
same. I mean, I know that we're praying for him, and I know one other way we can definitely help him, and a way to go ahead and shop early for Christmas. I know how to do it. But what is it exactly? What do we do, Scoob? We go on topqualityshirts.com. It's never too late to celebrate summer by wearing some slides and a polo shirt and a short sleeve shirt. And there's a notebook, where if you got like a venting session, if it's like, oh, well, I got to write some recipes, or I got to write some notes down, or I got to write some secrets down. Let me tell you something. The Voice of College Football notebook will keep all your secrets safe and sound. It will never air it out in public. That I can promise you. Even the nastiest secrets from back in the day. The wine glass, the don't care about your team t-shirt, the top 25 that actually makes sense. Be a fan, don't be a dumb one.
Such a good one.
There's a can cooler right there. I need to get one of those. Oh, the Voice College Football flag, phone case, blue jean jacket. Oh, little something for the kids as well.
The socks, man.
There's a gym bag. Little mouse
and there's
pad.
the dog. You get a dog. No, it's the pet.
Say no. Yeah. Could you say no to this face?
My Lord, man.
I couldn't. I couldn't. Chat, could you say no to this face? I don't think you could.
I don't think it's possible, man. That is a cute dog.
There you go. I mean, you just want to give it a scratch behind the old ears. Like that is the key right there. If you're not a dog person, that is the way to gain their trust. I'm no Caesar Milan, but it's I've been around dogs here and there. But I know that's what you gotta do. Do a little shopping.
Definitely, absolutely. A lot of great stuff. Got the keychain. A lot of cool stuff at the Voice of College Football. There's a lot of stuff on the merch store, and definitely, like Jack said earlier, the memberships, the Alabama channel, and a lot of the channels. There's a lot of great stuff coming down the pike. The Indiana channel's up and running. There's a lot of great stuff coming down the pike. You're not gonna want to miss it.
Exactly. And let me tell you, if you got any recommendations for who should be representing what team that doesn't have a channel yet, email Mark at markrogerstv@gmail.com. And you can pull back this clip so that you can remember it. Now, that being said, it was a sad night for Tuscaloosa, but you know you're in for a great night anytime we go on air together. That we can promise you. We're
And
laughing like
I
JP
appreciate
Cubis.
Jackson's IT guy, man. I appreciate, like I said, it's always fun. I love when we're able to, do a show, even if it's a loss with Alabama. It's tough, but we had a lot of laughs. It just brightened the spirits. It's all good. It's not all good. It still sucks, but we're all good. We're still having a lot of fun. So definitely appreciate all you guys for tuning in. And you'll be seeing me around definitely every Thursday nights at 10 o'clock at the call-in show with Jackson, me and him, doing the Alabama call-in show right here at Alabama, the Voice College Football. And every now and then you'll see me on the post-game shows and on the Monday show, Crimson Tide Live, but not every week. But you'll see me sometimes.
There we go. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Click on the notification bell so you do not miss another video whatsoever. And with that, we bid you all a good night, and we want you to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Stay safe and stay warm. It's cold out.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Despite the loss, still Roll Tide.